I thought the defense, like you said, got better. And on the flip side, the offense definitely got better. They
Yes.
started turning these field goal drives into touchdown drives. And we saw Kyle, I don't want to say he trusted Jimmy more, but maybe Jimmy trusted himself more. Do you think that's a fair assessment? It's almost like he wasn't second guessing as much.
Um, Oh, I think honestly, I think a huge part of it was the fact that Jimmy was back there and had time to throw. The offensive line did a
That's
great
fair.
job keeping him protected, and I know that some people are going to kill the 49ers and not give Jimmy any due because Khalil Mack wasn't playing or whatever. But the fact of the matter is, you only can play who's lined up in front of you, and the offensive line did a tremendous job. So I think that was a big part of it, and that allowed Kyle the comfortability to kind of call those plays for Jimmy. There were a couple though where Jimmy did kind of run around like a chicken with his head cut off and was able to find the guy. Um, and it was kind of brought up in chat, like, dude, maybe Kyle should just get Jimmy on the run because he seems to be more accurate when he's like running and throwing. So, all around, I thought it was a pretty good game from Jimmy. So, great game from the offensive line. The wide receivers did their job, so can't really be upset about it.
No, I agree. And I thought it was impressive just to see him. They showed that clip of his first start, and it's crazy. It was 4 years ago to this day that the Niners actually traded for him.
Yeah.
And then it was about a month after that where he had that start in Chicago. And man, I even saw tweets leading up to this game this week where they were rehashing their old tweets from that game, and people were like, "Look at the command he has at the line of scrimmage. This ball is such a tight window. He got into this." And it was like, we don't see that anymore, but we saw at least a glimpse of that today. And it
Yeah.
was nice to see because Jimmy has been taking some on the chin like all season long and not wrongfully so. He's deserved all of the kind of I don't want to say bashing, but negative attention he's got because his play has not been up to par. But today it was. And say what you want, just like Matt said, you can only play who's in front of you. The 49ers did a good job at beating the Bears. Good teams beat the teams they're supposed to. Niners hadn't done that this season. They did. So that was nice.
Yeah, and I know David Lombardi had a piece early in the week, and we kind of teased David or whatever because he's like a big Jimmy Homer or whatever. But I thought he had a pretty good article where he was talking about the more Jimmy has actually absorbed this offense, the less he's actually been that gunslinger. He's kind of become more and more conservative as he's gone along, particularly after the 2018 the ACL tear. And today I feel like Jimmy just had that devil may care attitude because let's be honest, if he would have had a bad game and came out and laid an egg out here, we very well could be talking about another 49ers loss and Trey Lance being the guy going forward. So it's one of those things, your back's against the wall and you're just like, screw it, let's just go out there and let it rip. And it was two great results. I think part of that was Kyle being like, look, if we lose this game, screw it, we're not going to make the playoffs, we're going to have to go with Lance. And so Kyle's calling plays without the pressure of, listen, expectation creates a lot of undue pressure, and the 49ers have had a lot of expectation on them going into the season. Now you're not meeting those expectations. That pressure just gets a little tighter, a little tighter, a little tighter. And I think they just kind of ripped the lid off a little bit. And we're like, screw, let's just go out there. Let's just play. And it really worked for them. So going forward, if they can carry that momentum and just have fun and just let it rip, I think that's going to help the team going forward.
Yeah, I agree. There's some quotes here from the post-game press conference I thought were pretty cool. Let me see. So Fred Warner, it showed the resilience, the fight, and everyone on the offensive line pushing Mitchell into the pile, into the end zone, which that was awesome. That's like an effort play that we hadn't seen in a long time.
That was legit. The whole team was like pushing him,
yeah.
except for Sanu, who came in the back and he was like, he was in.
That I had just tweeted too, maybe 20 minutes before that. Do the 49ers look like a motivated team? And it was a resounding no. All of the responses were like, absolutely not. And they were motivated there.
If I can be honest, that was because of the first half.
Yes, yeah.
And it's one of my least favorite things that happens is that everybody gets angry and everybody overreacts. It was one half where the Bears had the ball for 25 minutes plus or whatever before the 49ers got the ball in the third quarter. It was like 25-40 to like 10-45 or something in time of possession. It was insane. And it was just like, let's see what happens and what plays out. You have to take a game. You can't just judge one half of football. We've seen a ton of times where a team goes into the lead, half of the lead, and then gives it up in the third and fourth quarter, and they can't hold it out. So I think you need to take the game as a whole, and you can take individual things from each part of the game, but the whole game is what paints the picture. And to just, there are people calling for Kyle Shanahan's job. Like, this team has no heart. This team doesn't, play hard or whatever. And it's just like, you got to relax. Like, you wait, and let's see what happens. And I think that the team came out and were like, listen, we're not done yet. And we're going to come out here and we're going to play hard for each other. We're going to show that we have heart. We're going to show that we have fight. And they took it to the Bears in the second half, big time.
Yeah, they really did. And it was really cool to see because, like you said, people were questioning their character. People were questioning their, their drive. Fred also said, we got one. That was the goal through the entire week. Just get one win. They got it. They asked Brandon Ayuk if that was the most fun he's had in a while. He said, definitely. So that's great because, man, we definitely needed Brandon to get in there. And obviously, when you're losing, you're not having fun, but still, it's nice to see him just get involved. On the flip side of the ball, Matt, what did you think of Talanoa Hufanga's first start?
I thought it was okay. I thought he did a pretty good job. It wasn't perfect by any means, and there's definitely room to improve upon. But he didn't give up any huge plays. He seemed to be in areas where he was supposed to be. I thought overall he did a pretty good job, and it shows that why they were comfortable um, with Tart out. Now I don't know. There's some speculation surrounding Jaquaski Tart and whether or not his injury is as serious as to need to go on IR. But at the same time, Hufanga didn't embarrass himself. On the flip side, Tavon Wilson came into the game, and if it wasn't for the roughing the passer on Ebicam, you could very easily have seen Tavon Wilson for a pass interference because he definitely put his shoulder into the receiver before the ball got there. Um, yeah, overall, I thought the people that needed to step up tried to step up. We didn't see anything too much from other players that were, replacing others. So Alshire was out, which means Demetrius Flanagan Fowles was in. I didn't really hear his name called, but sometimes that's for the best. Yeah, you might not be making plays, but you're definitely not making mistakes. And I think that was part of it. I think it fell apart a little bit with the zone defense for pass plays, but that to me, it seemed like the 49ers were being a little more passive in those situations because I think that with the emphasis on not trying to get these defensive pass interferences, that really led to them, kind of playing off a little bit, particularly Emmanuel Mosley, who I think, if I were to guess, I think he got ripped into on the film for that, for the last week. So
Yeah.
we'll see what happens going forward. I think that you just take the little victories where you can, particularly in the actual win-loss column, and you move forward. I think they're going to have a ton of good tape to look at, and they're going to have to try to get ready for Arizona. Fortunately, they played a couple hours early today, so they can hop on the flight, get back home, and prepare for the 1 o'clock game next week. So, looking pretty promising.